Greetings to everyone out there in the NoDQ galaxy. Welcome to NoDQ video here on NoDQ.com and the YouTube channel, youtube.com/AaronRift_NoDQ. I have your questions from twitter.com/AaronRift using the hashtag NoDQTurns20. So let's go ahead and get started. First one today comes from Mr. Yuck. Is it fair to say that Finn Balor will never get his Universal title rematch nor win the WWE Championship anytime in the near future? And how long before he jumps ship? Jump ship to where? Impact Wrestling? New Japan? I do not think Finn Balor will be going anywhere anytime soon. I think Finn Balor is still in a good place in WWE. He has a good position towards the top of the card. Yes, he's not at the world title level. And yes, I think it's ridiculous that he has not gotten his one-on-one Universal title match, his rematch for the title that he never lost. In a recent promo, which I posted over on NoDQ.com, Balor did address this. He stated that he doesn't want it the easy way. He wants to win Money in the Bank and win back the Universal title the hard way. So whatever, he has to say it. He has to come up with something because in real life, WWE is not going to book him in a match with Brock Lesnar. I guess the company doesn't feel he's a big enough star to do that match on a pay-per-view. I disagree. I don't think that Balor needs to be beating Brock Lesnar, but I still feel like that match should have been done several months ago. Is that a good enough reason for Balor to leave the company and, as you put it, jump ship to another company? I don't think so. I think Finn Balor is in a good spot in WWE right now, and there's still a chance he could win Money in the Bank and perhaps cash it in and become Universal Champion. That is still very much a possibility. But even if he doesn't win Money in the Bank, I could see Finn Balor still being a major player in WWE. And I think that it would be wise for him to make the big money in WWE while he can. Because once he's gone, it could be hard to come back and be in a key position. Some might argue, well, he's not doing the demon gimmick anymore, and that's hurting his credibility. The fact that he hasn't brought that back. I agree on that too. I think the Balor demon gimmick is something WWE should be doing at major events. But of course, when he's the demon, there's this idea that he should not be losing. So one could argue that as well. But I still think it's a cool aspect of his character, and I feel it's very marketable, and WWE's just leaving money on the table by not utilizing the demon part of his character. Got this one here from They See Me Rollins. Has WWE dropped the ball with Asuka? She went from being their most dominant superstar in the women's division to being in random 6-women tag team matches. At the rate things are going, I would say yeah. I think her doing those goofy text promos on SmackDown, those are not helping her at all. And yeah, ever since WrestleMania, it feels like Asuka has just gone from being one of the top stars of the women's division to just being a random person on the roster with no real direction. Time will tell, though. I don't think it's too late to build her back up again. Remember, Charlotte had a bit of a slump last year. She seemed to be going nowhere, and now she's the women's champion. She beat Asuka. She ended Asuka's streak, and she is currently in this spot where she can potentially face Ronda Rousey at next year's WrestleMania and maybe even headline the pay-per-view. So I don't think it's too late for Asuka. I certainly feel that if booked correctly and with the right storyline, she can rebound from her post-WrestleMania slump. Got this one here from Izzy5234 on the topic of Asuka. What do you think about a possible Rousey versus Asuka match at Survivor Series this year? Champion versus champion with them winning the titles at SummerSlam. Do you think it could headline a pay-per-view? Very interesting question. I think any match could headline a pay-per-view if WWE wants it to bad enough. We did see Charlotte and Sasha Banks headline a pay-per-view a few years back, Hell in a Cell. It's certainly within the realm of possibility that we could see this match at some point. I thought WWE was definitely going to do it, but now that the streak has ended, I wonder if WWE is going to do that match at some point or not. Like I said, WWE could definitely build up Asuka again, and that would be a very intriguing match. To me, next to Charlotte, I think Asuka's maybe the best opponent for Ronda Rousey in terms of having the credibility and fans believing that Asuka could potentially beat this MMA superstar turned WWE superstar Ronda Rousey. That would be very interesting. I don't think you need the titles, though. I don't see the need to make it champion versus champion. Just build up Asuka for the next 4 or 5 months, maybe even as soon as SummerSlam. If Asuka is booked properly and WWE builds her up again, you could do Asuka versus Ronda Rousey at SummerSlam, or like you mentioned, save it for Survivor Series. What do you guys think? Leave a comment on NoDQ.com and the YouTube channel and let me know. Got this one here from Jason Mason. Is it just me, or is all of WWE's top new talent in the past 3 to 4 years, in their prime or going out of it? Rude is 40, Shin is 38, etc. It's nice to see all of our favorite indie guys, but there's no longevity with these guys like Orton and Cena in 2002. Well, I think ideally you would like to have guys that are in their early 20s, but that doesn't always happen. And a lot of times WWE tries to push guys in their early 20s and they're either too green or inexperienced and they're unable to perform at a high level that WWE wants. There were a few exceptions, guys like Randy Orton that just, they were able to adapt really quickly, and John Cena, he had the star power to make up for being green in the ring. It just depends on the guy. And the circumstances right now, WWE with NXT, they picked up a bunch of TNA guys like AJ Styles and Samoa Joe, and I feel it worked out for the best with these guys. You know, Joe, AJ, if they had come into WWE, say, in 2001 or 2002, they probably would have gotten lost in the shuffle and would have been mid-carders at best. Now they're top guys in WWE. Now some might argue, well, that's a sign WWE is a shell of what it once was. They don't have the star power they used to. The guys that would have been mid-carders 15 years ago are main eventers now, but I always thought Joe and AJ were extremely talented guys and could be major stars. TNA just dropped the ball with them. The WWE roster was very crowded in 2001 and 2002. You had all the WCW and ECW guys coming in with those companies shutting down, and there just wasn't a lot of room for guys like AJ and Joe to really succeed. So it was really the best case scenario for those guys to become seasoned veterans in TNA and then come into WWE and be major stars. It worked out best for them. This next one comes from Ty Marshall, longtime contributor for NoDQ Video. With Muhammad Hassan returning in the ring after 13 years, can you see him coming back to WWE? Well, I think Jason Mason might have an issue with this, feeling that perhaps Hassan will not have much longevity because of his age. I believe he's like 36 though, so he's still relatively young. He got into WWE at a very young age in his early 20s. He looks to be in great shape from the video clip that I saw and was posted on NoDQ.com. Could he be brought back? I would like to see Muhammad Hassan return. I would love to see that character come back with his old music and be that heel foreigner again, even though I have complained about the stereotypical heel foreigners. I really liked Hassan's character. But I feel like in this day and age, WWE would not allow that character to really reach its full potential. The fact that WWE is so PC these days, and that character was initially dropped because of pressure from UPN and sponsors feeling that that character was just too controversial. So I don't know if it would really be able to succeed. And if WWE cannot go all out with that character, then I don't know if he should be brought back. But if he is dedicated enough to his craft and is really good in the ring and can cut the promos, maybe WWE should find something to do with him. Maybe change up his character and do something different with it. You could potentially bring him back and give him a push. I think the jury is still out on it, though. Who knows if Hassan is going to continue wrestling on a regular basis, or if he's just coming back just for the fun of it and it's not something he is going to take seriously. That remains to be seen. Got this one here from Kyle Allen. Why is WWE giving Batista the cold shoulder? There are two sides to every story. We have heard Batista's side. We really don't know WWE's side. Maybe Batista was making demands that WWE was not going to give into. There could be several reasons why WWE has not brought back Batista. Looking at it from just Batista's perspective, it doesn't make sense. Why would WWE not capitalize on Batista's success in Hollywood? There could be some resentment. Maybe Vince doesn't like the fact that Batista is succeeding without the corporate machine behind him. That could be an issue. Maybe WWE is petty about Batista's success outside of wrestling. But there could also be other issues. Maybe Batista has an attitude and WWE doesn't like it. Who knows? There could be other circumstances that have not been made public at this time. I do think WWE should work things out with Batista. I think it's good business to bring back Batista for one or two more big matches. Just not against Triple H. I think if WWE doesn't want to do Triple H versus Batista, then Batista should agree to do something else. I would like to see Batista versus Brock Lesnar. I think there's money in doing that match. Maybe even Batista versus Roman Reigns. There's several possibilities. I just don't want to see something we've seen already. We already saw Batista versus Triple H many times. I suppose after doing those other matches, maybe one more match, maybe his retirement match against Triple H. But if Batista comes back, first thing I would like to see him do is go up against Brock Lesnar. This one comes from Baller with Shades. What do you think of a Money in the Bank for 205 Live? I would be okay with it as long as it's not at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. I think 2 Money in the Bank matches for one pay-per-view is enough. But 6 months down the line, WWE wants to do a Money in the Bank match with the Cruiserweights as a way to try and elevate the Cruiserweight division. I say why not? Those guys would obviously excel in that type of match. Everybody would be able to get over in that match, just like the NXT ladder match. I think that the Money in the Bank match with the Cruiserweights would potentially be a match of the year candidate if those guys were allowed to go out there and have the best match possible. I think it could definitely benefit the Cruiserweights and maybe get people invested in the Cruiserweight division. So I definitely think it's a solid idea. Just don't do it at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. Wait 6 months, spread the matches out a little bit, and then do it. This one comes from Aaron Lewis. Hey Aaron, do you think heels should be given clean wins more often to make matches less predictable? It seems like besides the occasional squash matches, WWE relies too heavily on guys winning by cheap tactics like interference and so forth. Thanks. I agree on that. I do feel that heels should be winning clean sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. And in first matches, I like the idea of a heel winning clean at first, just so you have a reason to want to see the babyface get his win back and make the big comeback. I think Rusev beating Daniel Bryan was a very solid booking decision. I was definitely a fan of that. I think that it gave Rusev some very much needed credibility. He has been floundering as of late, and I think beating Daniel Bryan helped elevate Rusev's stock in WWE. I don't feel it hurt Bryan. Bryan has been on a roll. He won at WrestleMania. He had a great showing in the Greatest Royal Rumble, setting a new record. He won at Backlash against Big Cass very decisively. So I think it was okay for Bryan to lose. His character is more of an underdog, so he should be losing sometimes. I thought it was very effective, and when that is done every now and then, where a heel gets a surprise, clean win, I think it's good. I like the fact that Miz beat Jeff Hardy clean on SmackDown. It elevated Miz. Miz has been getting all these cheap wins. Mahal needed it when he was WWE champion, and WWE did not do it. So yes, I do think every now and then the heel should be winning and getting a clean win at that. Got this one here from Seth K. Do you think Braun Strowman could be a leading contender to win Money in the Bank? Could it be WWE's way of getting the title on Strowman, hopefully without doing damage to his character? He doesn't need it. Braun Strowman doesn't need to be cashing in Money in the Bank and taking advantage of an opportunity. Now, I suppose he could win it and just announce he wants his title match at SummerSlam. The funny thing is, Brock Lesnar rarely appears. So if a Raw guy wins Money in the Bank, the only thing that makes sense is for him to announce his cash-in advance. And if a babyface like Braun Strowman wins it, that would make sense that instead of taking the cheap victory, he announces in advance like RVD did when he wants to cash in Money in the Bank. And that hasn't been done in a while. So it would be a nice change of pace. And if a babyface is going to win Money in the Bank this year, you might as well have a Raw guy win it so the Raw guy can announce in advance that he's going to face Brock Lesnar, say, at SummerSlam. So in that case, Braun winning would make sense, but I really don't think he needs it. I'd rather see somebody like Elias or Samoa Joe, one of those guys, win Money in the Bank, or Bobby Roode and turn heel with that briefcase. I think there are better candidates for Money in the Bank than Braun Strowman. Got this one here from William. How would you make people care about Roman Reigns versus Jinder Mahal? Oh man, that is a really difficult question to answer. I'm not even sure if there is a solid answer to that. I suppose I would have Jinder Mahal break kayfabe, break the fourth wall. I would have him go out there and do the Vince Russo worked shoot promo. Have him come out there and say, I'm tired of playing this stereotypical bad guy. I just want to be me. I feel the fans are sick and tired of Roman Reigns being shoved down everybody's throats. We all know that Roman Reigns is Vince's guy, not Brock Lesnar. That type of promo, like a CM Punk style pipe bomb promo from Jinder Mahal, just to completely shake things up, reinvent Jinder Mahal's character, give him a whole new outlook in WWE, a whole new lease on life. That is something I think would be very intriguing and would make that feud interesting. But that's just about the only thing. Keeping Jinder Mahal as a heel against Roman Reigns as the character he has been, to me that's boring and I have no interest in it. So unless Jinder's going to do the worked shoot pipe bomb promo and just completely drop this foreigner heel character, then I feel there's no hope for this storyline. I really feel it's going to be a dud. Alright, that'll wrap it up for this edition of NoDQ Video. Thank you all for watching and supporting the channel. Subscribe, youtube.com/AaronRiftNoDQ. Click on the bell icon to get notifications as videos become available and news items as well. And stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the very latest. Please spread the word about NoDQ Video, and I will see you guys next time.